Today, I'm taking us all on a journey into one of my favorite games ever, Project Zomboid, a game in which I have over 500 hours in. It's a pure-blooded survival game down to its very core, where you have to rely on your wit and your ability to scavenge for resources in order to survive. For this series, I plan to use some of the mechanics that I never really knew how to use. That includes foraging and trapping, two mechanics that I thought were completely useless. I'll be playing with custom sandbox settings to the world of my desire. That includes making the world extremely cold and turning off zombie respawns. However, zombie population will be higher. And furthermore, I'm making it so I cannot base out in any of the buildings in the world, nor can I use a car as a mobile base. I have to make my base by hand. This isn't exactly a zero to hero story, but I'm throwing myself against my normal playstyle, and I'm trying to see how I'll do. I've made myself a few objectives to help me along my way, and they are to leave civilization behind, finding a steady source of food and water, building a campfire, and building a stone axe, a stone hammer, and a stone knife. And I've also set my endgame criteria to have a fully walled off compound, including an indoor garden, a full kitchen, and a border wall, having a decently repaired fleet of vehicles, having an arsenal of weapons, and reaching level 10 in any one skill. And so, without further ado, let's begin. Meet Blu Stew, our hero who is unfit, obese, a smoker, very clumsy, a slow reader, a Sunday driver, and very conspicuous. Truly a man after my own heart. He takes a moment and he goes around the house collecting what he can, getting some smaller food items along the way. He quickly peruses the library to see what literature he could take with him. We're quick to go upstairs to find some leather gloves and also a pencil to help us along our journey. And back down we go. After eating a quick snack, Blu is quick to leave the house and begin the journey by completing our first objective of leaving civilization. For those that don't know, in Project Zomboid, you can very easily outpace the zombies just walking, even if you're obese and unfit, such as old Blu Stew here. So the journey began, and we were well on our way to leaving town. After a mix of both walking and running, Blu began to get a little exhausted. In his current state, I wouldn't trust him to go against even two zombies at once, especially since I definitely did not forget to turn on multi-hit. So Blu kept running. And thus begins the beginning of foraging, a skill that, like I said previously, I don't have any experience in, so finding anything I was didn't really know how useful anything was unless I recognized it. Now, of course, when you're foraging amongst a farm field, there are many things you might expect to find. One of those being goofiness aside, we eventually came across a car and a towed trailer, and we decided to check them out. Besides an empty bottle for us to contain some water, once we actually found some, there wasn't much in here. And so the journey of Blu Stew continued, and he continued foraging alongside the road. As if being a little exhausted, hungry, and thirsty wasn't bad enough, Blu Stew, without any cigarettes, is starting to get anxious. Nevertheless, he had to carry on, and so he continued foraging. Eventually, happening across a car in need of repair and two zombies. Thankfully, there's some matches. After some more good finds in nature, it was time to do some more combat. And who could forget when he came across some rocks that turned into a twig right in front of him? Amazing. Nature is beautiful. Since it was getting late and zombies are more active at night in this world, Blue decided to settle down and have a snack and try to read a book. However, he started to get a little cold. He went to go loot one of the dead. Luckily, he found a sweater. In spite of being a good ways away from civilization, there was still a lot of zombies out here, so Blue continued on until he could find a safe place to settle down for the night. After taking a moment to appreciate how far he's come in one day's time, and while also acknowledging the number of zombies that are still around and being very, very tired, he decided to find a nice place to just sleep on the ground. After somehow not being mauled through the night, he decided to carry on. Unfortunately, there wasn't much in the trailer, so he had to press on. Luckily, he was able to find some tree branches and able to finally make a stone axe. Since God has a sense of humor, the stone axe that he made was terrible. It was almost broken by the time he was cutting down his first tree. And he had to make a second one in order to fully cut down the tree. After besting the tree, he was finally able to make a nice little campfire. Finally taking a moment to really breathe in the situation and take inventory of everything, Blue decided to read a quick magazine about farming and then take another look at his map. Having come to the conclusion that this area was safe, he decided to settle down and really plan ahead for the day. And of course, I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please let me know if there's any additions to the challenge you'd like me to add.